The Bear Pit Pod is back. iTunes, SoundCloud, Acast, YouTube, wherever you might be watching, listening, give it a like because it might cheer us up. The festive period wasn't a laugh.
It was a washout.
Was it?
Absolutely hopeless.
Birmingham
Rubbish.
2-0 loss away. Bolton 0-0 at home, who went on to get smashed by Hull 6-0.
Mm-hmm.
And then we lost 2-0 to Bristol City.
Yeah.
As bad as a festive period could get.
It was awful. And even the win against Millwall was an awful performance.
Just before Christmas, yeah.
So we scored one goal. One goal across them
four
teams.
games.
Birmingham, average for me, upper mid-table average. Bolton, awful. Bristol City, slightly worse than average. Millwall, shit. Scored one goal.
Terrible.
Oh, it's a shocker.
And we currently sit 14th in the league. Gary Rowett has come under immense pressure, if anything, which you could argue he's brought upon himself.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember a manager who's been facing this much
stick.
At games.
Uh-huh. No, I've never heard it. I'm not sure why it's so. I can say I'm not sure why it's so vicious, but I do know why it's so vicious. It was his comments after Bolton, which completely screwed him. He was getting a bit of stick. There was the odd chance here and there at the games, but like you said, I've never heard a manager get this much stick. I mean, Chris Kamara was shy, but he never got this sort of crap. Hughes, nowhere near. Boscamp didn't. Nobody has ever got this much verbal stick that I can recall at a home game or an away game. For that
I mean, I've seen some people. I mean, they're the managers that we've just listed off that I can remember in my lifetime. But I've even seen comments of people on Twitter who've been watching Stoke for much more longer than I have say that no managers that they can remember have had this sort of abuse. And I'm talking years back. I'm talking 70s and 80s.
My first manager that I was aware of was Lou McCarthy, his first stint, really, and that was obviously great. And I've had some shit managers since then, but.
Let's go back to what brought it all up, and I think it was after the Bolton game when he went after the fans were singing for Bojan during the game. He was a fan favourite. Obviously, he's not been. Some people will argue he's not the player he once was. And Gary Rowett came out after the match and said he was good 3 years ago. We're trying to move the club forward, and he also added that they may as well, or they could be chanting for Rory as well.
Yeah.
It's not going to go down well, attacking a fan's favourite. And also, after a result like that, going after the fans.
Yeah. I think it's completely... like you say, because it was obviously having to go with the fans via the Bojan stick. But I think it's really, really, really disrespectful to Bojan. And again, and for those that listen to this podcast, I'm not one of those that's been like a super Bojan fan, thinking he should be in the squad.
You never have.
He's clearly been good in the past, to quote Gary Rowett. But I think that's really unprofessional of a manager to call out a play like that in public.
I mean, it's not the first time he's gone in on Moritz Bauer earlier in the season.
And prior to him saying that, and when I was listening to I was at Bolton, I remember listening to the Ole Bojan chants and all that sort of stuff, and I was getting a little bit sick of them because I think that the whole plot of Bojan had turned. It wasn't a case of we think Bojan's great. It was more we know that Rowett hates him. So this is our stick to beat him with. We're going to just chant for Bojan. I was getting a little bit sick of it, but the second he kind of called out Bojan like that, it had to go at the fans, it had to go at a player that's had a good, a fantastic brief Stoke career.
Yeah.
It was just unnecessary.
And then
he screwed himself royally.
And then Bojan responded on his Instagram story, but I think as a basketball coach, I'm not sure who it's for. It might be Barcelona basketball. I'm not 100% on that.
Yeah.
Quote of the best friends that I have in my life are my players, and that's come from the coach. And he won some medals, and he's also put respect. And I think that's the issue with it mainly. I mean, Gary Rowett's taken a pop at Bojan, who's won the Champions League twice. He's played at a much higher level than Gary Rowett ever did. You could have a bit of respect there. Bojan hasn't done anything wrong. He's not come out. He's not come out and said that Bojan hasn't trained well. Or
no, he did with Bauer.
As far as I'm concerned, Bojan's trying behind the scenes.
The thing is, I had really got to a point with Bojan where I was making the assumption that he'd done something a bit twatty in the background.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't understand otherwise. If Bojan has genuinely trained hard, been no negative distraction to the team, he's been getting on with the players, getting on with it, and he was dropped from the squad, that is absolutely inexcusable with how uncreative we look.
Especially what we're crying out for.
Oh, it's insane. However, and that's why I find it so unbelievable that something must have occurred in the background to be dropped from the squad. I'm convinced something must have happened. Be it he's not training right, he's disrupting the squad, the first 11. I don't know. Bojan thing is just doing my head in. It really is. I mean, Rowett, I don't know. It's just winding with the Bojan thing. There's no end.
Doing your head in, Craig.
No end.
Well, let's go back to the game that's just happened. Bristol City it was a terrible game. Just so bad.
Yeah,
obviously, if Phobe missed a penalty, it was a terrible penalty.
Mm-hmm.
We're obliged to buy the guy in January as well, which some people are wishing we could turn back on now. I can't remember too much of the first goal. Can you fill me in?
It was a good bit of wing play. Got past Martina very easily. Good ball into the box and a very good header, albeit bad defending from Stoke centre-backs again. And
the second goal was horrendous. Martina
fast.
misjudged the ball coming in because I think it was Ryan who went to head it in front of him. It just hit his knee, and then Jack's come out, and for some reason he's kicked it. I don't get that because if you dive on it with your hands, you've got the ball. He came out and kicked it. It went straight into the path of one of their attackers, who just took a touch and put it into an empty net.
If a goal could sum up Stoke at the moment, it was that. It was an absolute embarrassment, and I kind of when I went in, I kind of sat back and almost grinned because I was just like, I just got to that point where I was like, this is just
laugh. You have to laugh.
Is this a joke? Is this a joke?
You have to laugh.
It's been a shocking 18 months, hasn't it?
Just a bit. Absolute shambles.
It really has.
I'm not even going to bother doing best and worst of that game and man of the match. I don't think it's even worth doing it.
That's about
if we have to. We came back into the side,
yeah,
which you called for in your preferred.
I did call for him. Yeah,
you did call for him.
Yeah.
But let's get back onto some of the more important matters. That game's gone. There was nothing really to shout about from it. The Bojan quotes as well, and the one of the lines that's got seems to have stuck with a lot of people is we're trying to move the club forward with Bojan. And then we're bringing on Peter Crouch, nearly 30, coming up to 38 years old, on at the end of every game. And that when he came on in this game just gone, there was so many boos. And I feel like he had to quickly correct that and bring Berrino on straight away after.
I don't know where the boos were directed towards. I mean, I can only assume it was for Crouch coming on. Because it was a phobia that come off.
Yeah, I think the crowd are just sick of the same old thing every game. Crouch on.
I just think that was completely unnecessary, personally, booing Crouch.
I don't think they're necessarily booing Crouch. I think they're booing the substitution happening so often that we're relying on that at the end of.
But Crouch isn't going to take. I didn't like that at all, if I'm honest, because Crouch is going to take that one way. Even if it's an indirect attack at Rowett, I think it was unnecessary.
He scored elsewhere this week, by the way. His fourth kid on the way.
Very good, yeah, he did, yeah. So I don't think he's 38, he's achieved a lot in the game. I don't think he'd be overly down in the dumps about that.
No.
He's a Stoke legend, Crouch. I think he'll know that deep down, and fans know that deep down. It's just a shocker. I'm struggling to kind of find the words for where Stoke are at the moment. We've had an abysmal season.
Very bad.
It's a shocker. Rowett, I feel, has to go now. I tipped after that game.
Okay. We'll speak about Rowett. Now. There were banners at the game. Mm-hmm. It was hostile throughout. I think it was hostile from the off, if I'm being honest. I don't think as soon as a player made a mistake, the fans were ready to start making the feelings known towards Rowett and the performances. There was banners, Rowett out, which is that a record for Stoke and wanting a manager out quickly, apart from like Cotterill and wanting a manager out so quickly. I mean, 26 games?
It is a record. Cotterill just left us because he
quit.
He's a dickhead.
Quitterill.
Yeah, Quitterill. I mean, yeah, I think it is. I'm absolutely. I couldn't have predicted this at all. I thought we got a decent manager for this level.
On that note, by the way, whilst you're saying about couldn't have predicted this at all, some Derby fans, by the way, Derby fan video or some Twitter account have made a meme video of about 2 minutes 16 long of Stoke just losing, and they've actually put clips of us in the podcast in there.
Have they?
Which is quite funny, yeah, on Twitter. I think they've got a quote from me saying it never happened and it's out of context, but if we make a few more signings, then we could have a season like Wolves.
Right.
Obviously, that's not fucking happening, but it's good to become a meme.
They did call it. I mean, whatever Derby fan, they're happy with this. I mean, I don't care to point to the managers as long as they're doing well, and I don't want Rowett to do well to prove Derby wrong. But I couldn't have predicted this. I thought worst case we'd sneak into the playoffs under Rowett. I honestly thought that was worst case.
I thought at one point, right, we're back on track now. I can't remember after what win.
Maybe
it was.
the Derby win.
Yeah, that was
about it for highlights.
The Derby win. Shout out Derby videos. The A50 was closed after. Sorry about that. After the Derby win with 10 men to grind out a performance like that against all odds. I thought that was the turning point.
By far. There's been so many mini turning points, but that was one where I actually thought, right, that was something. I mean, I tweet you. I rarely tweet, but I did tweet in this occasion. I thought Stoke hasn't felt that good for 18 months, 2 years. We're actually back in some capacity. There's some fire and spirit. And you could sense it in the ground. I thought, we're going to go now. This is it. And it's just, how many times have I quoted a false start, a false dawn this season? The amount of times we strung together a win, a couple of draws, we've gone unbeaten for the amount of times. Then we just shoot ourselves in the foot. And the weird thing is, after beating Millwall, I don't think you'd have predicted that Rowett would be on the verge of being sacked by the club. Because, it was a poor performance against Millwall, but we were 4 points in the playoffs. We were creeping towards it. We were unbeaten in 10, 11, whatever it was. 7 days later, we're 14th. 3 of the worst performances I can remember for a long, long time. And the manager's on the verge of going. And I'd be very, very surprised if we see it for the Brentford game. Very surprised.
Yeah, so I was going to come on to that now. So last night? Last night or the night before, me and you were hearing from different people.
We were texting, weren't we?
Messaging each other. Various sources. And I nearly posted it on the page, but I thought after the Matt Ritchie debacle, when someone told us something, I thought we'll leave that. We don't even claim to be in the know.
No.
But we were speaking to a few people who were telling us that Guy Rowett was actually sacked after the game, said his goodbyes.
This is what that he'd said his goodbyes. Whether that was him making the assumption that he was going or he knew he was going, I reckon he's made the assumption he's going, and his speech or talk to players after was with the foresight that this could be his last team talk or whatever you want to call it. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, so we spoke to numerous people who are quite well connected to the club, it seems, but Rowett's still here. Apparently, you're looking at numerous sources now, including the Sentinel and people like that, and it seems like, for me, that he has been relieved of his duties, but he's still there, and still there for the weekend, because I don't think the club want to make the mistake they did last time of getting rid of the manager, then chasing after people, and that whole absolute debacle that was chasing Flores, O'Neill, Rowett himself back then, and like 3 managers turned us down.
Forget we went for Rowett before.
Yeah, it was horrendous. It was absolutely horrendous. So I think Rowett's done. I think he's basically been let go.
Yeah,
but they don't want to get rid of him just yet to avoid that happening. If whoever the potential suitor is says yes by tomorrow or before the game, I think they'll get rid. But as it stands, he'll take charge of Shrewsbury, and then they're going to get someone.
I think you're right. But can you imagine that for Rowett? Because Rowett's not a stupid fella. He'll know exactly what we know to a point. Well, more obviously. He's going to go to Shrewsbury, stand in that dugout.
We're in exactly the same place as last year when Hughes had to go to Coventry.
It's complete deja vu, isn't it? The FA Cup third round, we went into Coventry thinking we'll beat these at least, and Hughes will cling on. Lost that.
That was a horrendous game.
Yeah, it was a shocker. I think you're right. I think he's gone, and I understand why. I know we've sold a lot, but we have spent 30 million.
Yep.
People say
the biggest budget in the league.
Yeah, people say, well, we sold 27 million worth of talent, but we've spent 30 million. And we're 14th and playing
terrible football.
Awful. It's not even, when people say the word terrible football, people often say like, people often think like it's long ball and all this sort of stuff. That's not the issue for me at all. At least under Pulis long ball, it was quick and dynamic. This is just, it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. It's negative. It's overly cautious for the league we're in. We're struggling against really poor teams. I don't know what his philosophy's been from the start.
No, it's never been proven.
I feared at Leeds away. I thought, okay, maybe it's the first game. We just got to get over this hurdle, this initial game, and all this sort of stuff. Unfortunately, we've never progressed.
No.
Derby was it. Weirdly, we had 10 men against a decent side. Bizarre.
So, if the Daily Mirror are to be believed, Moyes or Big Sam?
Oh, it's incredible, isn't it? It's incredible that
Were we in this exact situation?
We must have been linked to Big Sam about 1,000 times in my lifetime. I'm surprised it's not happened, actually.
He's a fit for Stoke if we're going to play that style of football.
I know. I mean, I'm not saying that to knock either of them, because they both had great moments in their managerial careers. But part of me is just a bit like, it just feels so dated.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's Brexit football. I can't. Yeah. Why can't we go for some? I know we tried Flores before, but Jukanovic got Fulham promoted last season. Similar circumstances, mm-hmm. They lost. They didn't win for the first 10 games.
It's ridiculous. I mean, they took them to the last few months to get the playoffs.
He's free and available. Apart from that, I'm stuck myself. But
I don't know. I always think back to the Pulis season. We got promoted, and obviously traits of Pulis ball and Sam Allardyce football is similar. And I respected what Pulis did for us, and it was a great time. And I like being the underdog.
Brought the ground together.
I can already see it. Best case, Big Sam does well, us gets us up. I can already see the fans turning now.
Right. Yeah.
2 years before it happens. Do you know what I mean? And I can't be arsed with that again, because it got a bit toxic with Pulis by the end. I'd probably lean towards Moyes slightly. I mean, he's had a shocking 5 years or so, but prior to that,
he's still technically contracted to Man United.
Is he? Is he?
I think so. Yeah.
All right. That's good, isn't it? What he did at Everton and Preston was great, but I haven't said that. What I'm on about that was 10, 15 years ago now. I don't know.
None of us know.
I mean,
he hasn't gone yet.
No, he's not gone.
Apparently,
he's not. I mean, who would you want?
Jukanovic.
I think I'm kind of with you on that one. Just because it's different. I mean, that's a bit flippant.
Not only that, not only has he got those credentials of bringing a Premier League. What the fuck am I saying? I've had a few pints before this. Not only has he got the credentials for bringing a club up in a similar position, but he's also got a more attractive brand of football that might please people. Yeah. Because obviously, this brand, what Gary Rowett's got at the minute, is not pleasing anyone.
I don't know what it is.
So Big Sam coming in and doing similar still might not please people. I mean, look at Borough with Tony Pulis at the minute. They're close to, they're in the playoffs, close to getting promoted, but I see their fans and they hate watching the football.
Do they?
Hate it. Absolutely hate it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, for me, it'd be Jukanovic.
Why not?
Why not?
It's different, isn't it?
Let's get on to the people's questions, eh?
Yeah.
Let's see if they can cheer us up.
Let's do it.
Fuck. Don't know what I've just dropped, but... Jake Hall, as ever, says, who is the best Marvel character in the cinematic universe and why?
A pet hate of mine is superhero films.
Don't you like them, Craig?
I can't stand them.
Oh, Craig.
I don't get it.
Craig, I love them.
It's not my... I don't know. The answer to that question is I don't know.
Craig.
Because I literally don't know.
Gone down in my books. I'll say Vanos, because he's thick.
Vanos, never heard of him.
Vanos?
What's his name? What's his name?
Thanos.
Oh, Thanos.
Vanos.
Yeah, Vanos.
Listen, I know we used to be sponsored by Vanarama, but that brand deal's gone, Craig. You could stop referencing that. Stephen Johnston says, have you or are you going to try the vegan sausage roll from Greg's?
Saw that.
No, because I'm a meat eater. I'll stick with the sausage.
I probably won't, because I wouldn't have a sausage roll from Greg's anyway, because it looks a bit nasty and greasy.
You what? Greg's is lovely.
Oh, bloody horrible.
How many t-shirts should I put you down for, says Oatcake Eater, and it is a free Bojan t-shirt. I'll take one.
Who's making that?
Gareth.
It's quite funny.
I'll take one, please.
Yeah, I'll have one, please.
Paddy Evans says, I'm all for fans voicing an opinion, but them idiots with that ROWETT out banner need to take a look at themselves. Grown men actually went out of their way to make that. They either need to grow up or get laid more. Oof. I mean, every fan's got a right to do what they want at the game.
Yeah,
when they
I think
pay
he's
the
got
ticket,
a specific issue with the banner. He doesn't like the fact that grown men.
Yeah, I mean, I'd never make a banner.
I wouldn't make a banner.
I know what he means. I could never be arsed.
But at the same time, I don't see any difference between that and chanting. I know a bit more effort's gone in, but I feel so uncomfortable at a Stoke game where there's so much hate being directed towards the manager and players, even if it's justified. I was shuffling in my seat at Bolton because I didn't like it. Because Bolton fans were like half joining in with us and cheering it and clapping it. And I do struggle a little bit with it, even if justified.
Yeah, okay. Callum, DCFC, Derby fan.
Right.
Who's probably come here from the video we mentioned. Right. Do you remember when you were laughing at Derby fans before the start of the season? Yes, and we're still laughing at Derby fans just because you're from Derby.
Were we laughing? Laughing at Derby fans?
I will. I don't give a fuck about all of this shit. Yeah, I'll laugh at him. Yeah, they're having a good season. I'm still going to laugh at you.
One of my best mate, my best mate, he's a Derby fan, season to get older, and I'm enjoying our little banter at the moment. I don't care. It's fine.
Yeah, to enjoy that.
I can completely appreciate why they'll be loving this though.
2-1.
Yeah, we beat you and we're shit.
I'll say that. Name one player you want us to sign in January, says at SCFC Brian.
Bojan looks right, doesn't he?
Sign Bojan. Yeah. I'm going to say... Oh, that's difficult. I'd take a left back. And I'm not going to say who, I don't know, but I'd take a decent left back.
I still think
Bruno can't play there. Eric's days are numbered. I'll take a left back, a decent one. No idea who you'd go for, but
I'm hopeless. My mates will tell you, I'm absolutely hopeless with players and stuff outside of Stoke. I'm very Stoke centric, but all I do know is we need a centre back, a young, quick, pacey centre back, because we look so wooden in the back.
Josh Heath says, "Who is the better dancer, Craig on his stag do or Big Sam at a pool party?" Did you throw many moves on your
Probably not. I probably just skulked in the corner, trying to hide.
I can't remember dancing at any point.
No.
We'll say Big Sam.
Big Sam, definitely.
Big Sam. Matthew Wingrove says, Liam Lawrence for manager, in my opinion. What would you think of that? No.
I'd say no, but I do like the way he speaks on Radio Stoke. I do.
Yeah, but
I think he's quite interesting.
He's only just got his way for B or A.
Yeah.
I mean, he's never managed a club before. Wrong time.
I'm saying no completely to that, but I
bring him in as backroom staff for a bit.
That's a good point. If Rowett goes, does Rory go? Because I think that's a shame.
Well, that's what I messaged him about. I said, I hope you can stay at the club.
Oh yeah. He said,
I can't say.
You can't say.
No. Hopefully they do though. It'd be a shame if Rowett does go. It'd be a shame to lose Rory as a backroom. I think he should be at the club in any capacity.
Yeah, I completely agree. It'd be a horrible end to his Stoke association via this Rowett mess, but we'll see.
But you never know. Maybe he's committed to working with Gary Rowett, whatever club he's at.
Maybe.
Who knows? Graphic Corner, we've answered your question already. Sam Allardyce or Moyes. Tony Brownson says, I don't have a question, but in my opinion, Big Sam and David Moyes are not the quality SCFC need. We need a winner. The only point about pro football is winning. Big Sam's been promoted 4 times.
Yeah.
I mean, he can win games.
A lot of things do work in relation to Big Sam coming to Stoke. It does fit, but we've just been there, haven't we? I just feel like we've been here before. Over
to the Facebook questions. Leah Fulcher says, Will Gary Rowett be the most hated Stoke manager in the club's history?
Like we say, from our lifetime,
I can't remember one. I can't remember anyone.
Animosity is Rowett. A tiny part of me almost feels sorry for him because I bet he doesn't have a clue where this has gone wrong. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why it's gone so tits on this.
Interesting question from Lee Woolrich, which has created a bit of debate in the comments from his comment. It says, maybe you could discuss the horrendously toxic atmosphere on match days and how statistics are proving that it's affecting the players and performances.
I completely agree with that. I said many times on this podcast that the negative vibe and atmosphere at home games has been a direct influence on how poor we've played. The players are on edge. They're on edge. And I'm not saying that we need to be happy clappy regardless, but I think it's quite clear that it's not helped. The players are absolutely shitting themselves out.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. They're afraid to make a mistake,
yeah,
which is probably hindering a little bit how they play. But I'm just going to play, as I do, I'm just going to play devil's advocate. People go to the game, pay the money, they can shout what they want. And when you put it in the grand scheme of things, the way the club's being run and the decline that we are on, it's not only this season, it's leading on from what's happened previous, etc.
Yeah, I mean, the fans' frustrations come from somewhere. They're not just booing for the sake of it. But it's human nature, isn't it? If you stand attempting to play football and you're getting jeered at from 20,000 people, it's naturally going to knock you. Rightly or wrongly, it's human nature, isn't it?
A lot of people are asking the similar questions of who would you bring in. Louis Eccleston asks, and I said who I think, Hristo Stambolov. I'd love to know where you're listening from because Bulgaria. Fans from Bulgaria. Will Rowett be sacked if we lose in the FA Cup? I think he's gone it anyway.
100%.
Let's have a look. What else are there? Bloody hell! There's tons repeating. I'm not too sure. I think we're
at the bottom of Charlie.
At the bottom. Charlie's on the way out. It seems. He's been applying for a move away. It seems with his quotes that he came out with this morning about going back to Scotland. I think he said that clubs think he's priced.
I know, yeah.
Pricing him out.
Proper getting himself in the shop window, hasn't he? I'll take a pay cut, get me out of here.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what he was crying out for. Let's take a look at the Instagram questions, which is all we have left.
In life.
And again, they're all the same. Allardyce or Moyes. Edwards says Iceland or farm foods. For me, that's a solid Iceland.
I don't think I've been in either for about 10 years.
Harvey Todd says, if you were to get a Stokey from the past on the podcast, who would it be and why? For me, it'd be Banksy.
It's weird. I mean, I'd love to say someone like Banks, but I never watched him, so I don't have the same association. I'm going to go with Ricky Fuller, but I completely understand why you'd say Banks.
Yeah,
I'll go for Ricky Fuller.
Ryan Smith says, why didn't we sign Tammy Abraham instead of Afobe? Which is an interesting one because Tammy Abraham's on fire. Apparently, he could even be going to Wolves.
I know. Well, Dwight Gale's the big one.
Yeah.
There's rumours knocking around we're looking at him. And
we were supposed to be interested.
Despite that, I'm convinced whatever striker you put in this formation with this lone striker thing, it would not work. It is absolutely shit. That's my biggest frustration with Rowett. They were singing on Tuesday, 4-4-2, weren't they, the stands?
Yeah.
It clearly is shite. This one up front does not work. It doesn't suit Berahino. It certainly doesn't suit Afobe. Like a broken record, he's got himself to blame. It really has. Our strikers aren't suited to this shitty formation.
Sean Dixon says, how many pigs in blankets did Elliot eat over Christmas? Lots. And, I've still not come out of it, really, because yesterday at work for dinner, for breakfast, I had a pigs in blanket roll from Eat, and then at dinner time I had pigs and mash and gravy.
Well, they sold all year round, then.
No, good point, Craig.
If
they did, I'd be the size of a house.
Someone would make a killing if they got on that.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I've seen mini eggs and cream eggs creeping their way back into shops now.
Oh, yeah.
Now Christmas finished.
Yeah,
Ollie Bradbury, would you welcome back Tony Pulis?
I was pondering that the other night. I personally would, but for the sake of the club, no, because it would just be
create a divide.
Oh, it'd just be create a divide. It'd be horrible. The people that didn't like it in the first place.
I'm going to say no, just because we've been there, done that.
Kind of. From a personal point of view, they were some of the best times. No, the best times of my Stoke sporting life. So yeah.
A_Twem says, do you think Bauer will go out on loan? And I suppose this applies to Bojan as well, or hang around and wait for a new manager. I hope they hang around. If we're going to get rid, hang around, because I've got no doubt they'll both be back in the squad.
I agree with Bauer, because I think going into the season we all kind of come to the Bauer's
best player,
or maybe best in the squad or something. Bojan, I'm kind of sick of the situations. I've said this is the third manager now that's eventually come to drop Bojan post his injury. Hughes didn't like him by the end. Lambert never interested at all. He was out on loan. Rowett not remotely been interested. That's three managers. They can't all be wrong, can they?
They haven't done very well, though. None of them have done very well.
I don't know.
Let me find this question because I did see a good one. Matt Farm says, I listened to the podcast on the tube. Which tube line would you be and why? I'd be the DLR. Above ground. Still get signal. Air conditioned.
That's the weirdest question I've heard. I'm the tube. I don't know. I don't even answer that.
Which tube line do you like?
Central line. It's solid but unspectacular. I don't know. I'm slagging myself off like that. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question.
Craig just put himself down with tube line.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, reliable.
Right, okay.
Central line.
Central line's reliable. Let's have a look. Lucas Bojan says, get Moyes in and splash the cash. Alex Bennett says, Martin O'Neill.
Yeah, why not?
I know you're a fan.
I was really wanting him to come in last year when Hughes went, and that went tits up, obviously. I don't know now. I'm not sure. I'm not sure now. I still think they're quite solid. But then see Moyes, see Allardyce, that sort of realm, that sort of bracket manager, isn't it? I think his football's a bit better, to be fair. I wouldn't be overly gutted if O'Neill was linked.
Yeah, you wouldn't mind that, would you?
I wouldn't mind it.
You shag Martin O'Neill.
I don't know.
Well, so that is the questions. If you want to send us questions for any other podcast, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, TBPTV, where you can send them in. We've got tons then. I can't read them all, and some we've already answered. But this weekend, on to Shrewsbury, Craig. FA Cup third round, 12 o'clock kickoff, because it's been shown in
the world wants to see it.
Daft countries around Asia, I think.
The world wants to see Stoke Shrewsbury.
You carry on speaking, because there's an article that I think the Sentinel have put up where they've actually explained which countries it is who've paid for the game.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I've never gone into a game less ambivalent about it, because we're not going to win the cup. We don't overly need the money of a good cup run. It's a massive distraction from the disaster that is our Championship season at the moment. The fact that our manager ROWETT might be in charge, knowing that he's not going to be in charge in the next league game, makes it even weirder. I've never been so neutral about a game. I think the best thing that can happen with this game is that Bojan and Bauer play well, and it kind of vaguely puts them in the spotlight again. I'm so nonplussed about this game. I don't know.
Well, let me tell you,
I don't know.
It's been shown in the US, Slovakia, Macedonia, Bosnia, Cyprus, Croatia, Norway, Singapore, and I think that's about it. But do you know how China? Do you know how much the clubs are pocketing each for moving this game to a 12 o'clock?
Go on.
Guess. Just have a guess first.
50 grand?
Yeah, it's spot on, Craig.
So
Bingo.
50 grand each?
50 grand each to move it to a 12 o'clock kickoff for those countries.
So that's what? That's juice
Could
wages.
you be arsed? Jesus
juice
Christ.
Wages. That's good, isn't it?
50 grand? 50 grand? It's fuck all. Why even move it?
Somebody's got to pay due.
Jesus. Well, there we go. On to Saturday. Shrewsbury, away from home. 12 o'clock kickoff. FA Cup third round. I can honestly see a repeat. I can just see deja vu again. We lose, new manager in.
Yeah, I completely agree. We don't need a cup run. It's such a distraction from the main purpose of the season. I'm not saying I want us to lose, obviously, but I just want to get back into the league as quick as possible. The best thing that can happen in this game is we give these fringe players a run out and that they get going. I don't know, someone like Barry, he scores a brace, and Afobe scores a couple, Tyrese Campbell, Bojan comes in, plays well, Bauer, etc. This squad is far, far better than 14th. It's far, far better, and so many players have been kind of prevented from showing that for whatever reason to ROWETT, and hopefully this is a brief opportunity for them to do it.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so.
Negative podcast.
Well, we ain't going to be positive with what's going on.
Really not. And we've been doing this podcast, 2 years now, and the first season we got relegated, and now we're 14th in the Championship, playing like absolute dickheads.
It's never been fun.
It's a bit of a disaster.
Surprised we're still here.
Proper downward Stoke at the moment. It's really shit. Really shit. And
let's hope we've one day got something to celebrate.
I assume you're rounding up the podcast. So one final question, Al.
Oh, and also, before you give a question, shout out to everyone who did put money in the bucket for Bo's boots.
Oh, yeah.
At the game.
I
think they've raised £1,700.
They're edging towards that 75k now.
Oh, good.
They're edging towards. I think when we initially did the shout out, was it the last podcast? Was it?
Yeah.
I think they went up from 55, not because I wasn't sure, but they went because they were on Radio Stoke as well. They were on 69, I think, ish grand.
So they must be really
leading
close.
up to the Bristol game where they need 75. So I think they should shortly cross that line.
Good.
And get him over to America for the treatment he needs.
Good. If anyone else wants to donate, as they are so close now, Bo's Boots, which you can find on Twitter, Facebook, all those places. Final question for
Final
you.
question is, what is, realistically, considering we're 8 points shy of the playoffs in 14th place on January the 3rd, what's realistically the best we can hope for this season?
A challenge to get in the playoffs.
That's depressing in itself, isn't it?
Yeah, and like Coach
Isn't it?
like Coach said, anything less than the playoffs is failure, and it will be a failure if we don't get in the playoffs. But I think with a potential change of manager, everyone's revitalised. Go on a little run. We've got the squad to go on a run. We've got the squad to do it. Hopefully, if ROWETT does go, a new manager can come in, revitalise the squad, get them playing again. They've got the players to do it. We've got one of the best squads. When you just look at the players on paper, we've got one of the best squads in the league. For me, if that comes in and it happens, we're still within touching distance of the playoffs. Mm-hmm. There's no reason we can't put a challenge in to get in there.
Completely agree.
So that's what I think the best.
Completely agree. It's just going to take a manager to look at our squad, consider our first 11 and be simple with it and not try and overcomplicate it. Just because 4-3-3 or 4-5-1 is the information in the Premiership, it doesn't mean it has to take place at Stoke. We've got players that can play a nice, simple 4-4-2 effectively.
Mm-hmm. And that is hopefully what happens.
Yeah.
Who knows? That has been the Bear Pit Pod. Make sure to like on iTunes, SoundCloud, Acast, YouTube, wherever you are watching or listening. Make sure to like, share, all that good stuff. And we'll see you all very soon. Goodbye.
Bye.